And that old man said, "No, Swami, don't do this. Many, many years ago when I was a little boy, I used to do this same work, a young boy. And the Holy Mother was living here. And I used to see so many people coming here, getting initiated by her, people going into ecstasy, talk about the vision of God and so many things. And a little boy, and I was curious and I wanted it too. And one day I asked the Holy Mother, Mother, will I not get anything? And she said, of course, my boy, you will get everything. But you go on doing this work. This work which you are doing, you go on doing it. And he said, so I do it, not for the money you pay me. I do it as a worship of the Holy Mother. I do it because that lady had told me to do it so many decades ago. So please let me do it. And he went on doing it till one day he really could not come again. His daughter came and the Swamis went to his bedside where the old man lay dying. And the story goes that at the point of death, he had a vision of the Holy Mother, the Divine Mother, that you have not forgotten me, you have come for me. So, bhava. What was his knowledge? I don't think he had even passed high school. What was the work that he was doing? He was sweeping, not even the temple, outside the temple. This is a janitor. But bhava, the attitude, what was he doing it for? He was doing it for God. And what will he attain? Not samsara. He will attain God. That reminds me, though it's not exactly this sort, but the attitude is similar. It seems in NASA, when NASA was getting ready for the first the moon mission, President Kennedy, who had promised that we shall put a man on the moon in 10 years, he came to visit NASA in one of his several inspection tours. So he came to visit NASA and he was being escorted around, shown the preparations and meeting people. And there was this janitor who was standing there. And the President of the United States walked past him and looked at him, came forward to shake hands with him and said, my man, what do you do here? And the janitor said, sir, I am trying to put a man on the moon. You see? That is the sense of what I am doing. And it's true. You're part of that. Similarly, whatever we do in life, we can convert that into worship of God. Hence, Vedanta becomes practical. Swami Vivekananda says, where are these two tendencies in our life? He gives a caution, a warning here. Two tendencies in our life. One tendency is to drag the ideal down to our life. The other tendency is to elevate the life to the ideal. And then Swamiji says, the first one is that great temptation of our lives. Anytime anybody comes with an easy religion, says what we want in life, what we desire in life, if somebody says that is good enough and that is religion and makes excuses for us, we are all ready to accept him. That kind of religion, that kind of teaching easily finds large numbers of followers. But in the long run, that will lead nowhere. What we need to do, Swami Vivekananda says, is to struggle to raise our life to the ideal. And he says, Vedanta is practical in the second sense. It is practical in the sense of the ideal, not practical in the sense of a compromise. He says, normally, what we mean by practical is the things which we like, we consider that to be practical. What we like doing, we consider that as something practical. He says to the shoemaker, there is nothing as practical as making shoes, nothing as great as leather. And he says to the thief, there is nothing more practical than stealing. It's true. And the second thing is, he says, not only what we like doing, what we can do, what we are accustomed to doing, what we find easy and natural to us, that's what we consider practical. Swami Vivekananda says, Vedanta, however, is practical in the sense of the ideal. To attain to the ideal and manifest it in our lives, that's the sense in which Vedanta is practical. Now, what is the ideal of Vedanta? What is the ideal of Vedanta? And Swami Vivekananda puts it very directly. The ideal can be put simply in a few words. You are divine, that thou art. You are God. tremendous, a bombshell. Swami Vivekananda says, the Vedanta, the Upanishads declare with one voice that the human, the individual, is none other than the divine. God is our inner reality. God is the reality of which we are unaware. We say, no, that cannot be right. It can't be right because we are these little bodies. We are born, when we age and we die, we are happy and we are sad and we attain something, we lose a lot, and that's what our life is, and we shall pass away soon and die, and that's what it is. It just isn't so that we are God. That's what we think. Mark Twain once said, it is not what you do not know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know that it just ain't so. That's what gets you into trouble. Yes. We think it's impossible. How is it possible that we are God? And Vedanta purports to show you, to demonstrate to you, and to lead you step by step to the realization that your true nature is nothing but God and God itself. There are so many ways, there are enormous, and there are a number of procedures called prakriyas in Vedanta. Vedanta will tell you, look at the distinction between the seer and the seen. This entire universe is an object of your experience. Whatever you see, the world is something that you see, and you are the one experiencing the world. Even the body, which we consider ourselves to be, isn't it something that we experience? We can see the body, we can feel the body, especially when you have a bellyache or a headache. And Swami Vivekananda was asked once, aren't you ever serious, Swami? And Swami said, yes. When I have a tummy ache, I'm serious. So when the body is, when it hurts, when we are sick, we feel the body. So the body is an object of experience, and we are that which experiences the body. Even our minds, the thoughts, happiness, sadness, do we not experience it? So we are the experiencer of our minds too. What is it that you are other than the body, other than the mind? There is something. There is a consciousness which is watching, as in this world of our waking. We experience this world. You're in the Vedanta society now. After some time you'll go back. If you are like me, an Indian, you take a little nap in the afternoon. Although Vedanta has a tendency of putting people into naps also, once in a while, And this whole thing goes away from your experience, and a dream world comes into in its place. And the consciousness which was watching the waking world is the same consciousness which experiences the dream world. Very soon our sleep melts into the deep, dreamless sleep. And that which was watching the dream and the waking world also experiences the nothingness of dreamless sleep. Otherwise, we would not wake up and say, I dreamt and then I slept deeply, peacefully. I had a relaxing, I slept like a log. But then what slept like a log if I was not there? Something was there. So there is an unchanging consciousness, and that's just one day. The Panchadashi says, this consciousness, as day rolls away, day after day, bodies age, time passes, month after month, year after year, the body dies, the consciousness remains. Another body it takes up. The Panchadashi says in a grand verse, ages roll by, centuries and millennia roll by. The consciousness is unchanging, body after body. We think that we are human beings. You have come to the Vedanta society in search of a spiritual experience. But the truth is, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. That was what Vedanta is trying to tell us. Look at this body, physical body. They call it Annamaya, made of food. This body is made of food. Deeper within are the life forces. We breathe, blood is flowing through our veins, food is being assimilated. We are taking in oxygen from the environment outside, using it to convert food into energy, building up our bodies. This is life force, it's called pranamaya. Deeper than this are our emotions, memories, thoughts, perceptions. That is called the mind.